I've been on YouTube for 17 years. Up until yesterday, I actually had less than 150 subscribers. And this morning, I woke up with 200 subscribers, and that subscriber count is growing. So I'm just really proud of myself. I consider myself a new YouTuber, but the truth is that I've been on YouTube for years. And actually, when I checked the first video that I ever did this morning, just to be able to tell you all about it, it turns out that that video was filmed 17 years ago. So even though the first video that was ever published with my face, with my voice on YouTube was published 17 years ago, I still consider myself a brand new YouTuber. And the reason is because it has been a struggle for me to not only stay consistent, but I didn't even have my own YouTube channel until 11 years ago. Okay, this is really embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you about it because for me, seeing somebody who is in my age range doing this active content creation, it's really rare. So when I find somebody who is in their 40s and above who has decided to start this personal brand build and this content creation journey, I always tune in and watch. And it always gives me inspiration to keep going with my own. So here is the story of how I actually was on YouTube before I ever had any subscribers, before I even had a channel. I was on YouTube on this channel called the FilAm News Network. So I'm Filipino. I was asked by my parents' friends who had a production company. It was a small scale production company, but it's still a production company, to anchor their news show that they were launching on a platform that few people knew about called YouTube. And I had no actual experience being on TV. At that time, it was only TV, right? There was barely anybody making any sort of online content. So I saw it as a great opportunity. They weren't going to pay me. It was just so I could start building out my reel. At that point, I had no actual direction. I did not know what I wanted to do when I grew up. I still kind of don't, to be honest. And I just accepted. I was like, yeah, let's do this. I didn't even know what this was. I hadn't seen their show until I had accepted, and then they showed me a few examples of what they were looking for. So the way they wanted me to dress was like an actual news anchor. I wore like a collared shirt and a blazer, and I did my hair in an updo and had professional makeup on. And I just read a teleprompter, and it was about news that wasn't super current or super new for anyone to hear. I think that because the bar for entry back then to start making content was kind of high, right? You needed to have the equipment, you needed to know how to do all this tech stuff, and there weren't YouTube tutorials teaching you how to do it. So it was kind of like, oh, I get to star or get to be an anchor on this news show. So I keep on doing air quotes because I wish you could have seen the production quality, right? Not that it was bad. I mean, I filmed in a room with a full-on green screen behind me, and I was just reading off a teleprompter, trying to look natural. I will put a clip of what that was like in here right now.
South Florida, this season marks an opportunity to better your economic footing and livelihood.
I think it was anything but natural, right? Like, this was an introduction to my content creation journey. And it happened 17 years ago when barely anybody was showing up online. And like, we were trying to show up online real, right? This was during the time when MTV's Real World was the reality TV. And it was so horrifying to think that I could show up as the real me online on TV, right? Because as an older millennial, I had been trained to keep my life private, as a lot of Gen X's, it was the boomers who were teaching us this, right? To keep our lives private. So for me to show up on camera like this in any capacity, it had to be in a way where I was kind of putting on a character. I mean, it was the only thing that I had been exposed to, right? Either acting or hosts, like people hosting shows or hosting award shows, things like that. And then we had the real world, the stuff that we're willing to put out there about ourselves, our personal lives right now online would have like just blown anyone's mind. It blows my mind, right? Because I had been involved in TV production since 17 years ago via the FilAm News Network. You know, when you're talking to a group of friends and you're like, wow, everything that I've done up until now has led me to this moment. Well, this is the same way that YouTube has changed my life. I have less than 300 followers right now. I have a very small channel. And up until December of last year, I didn't even have a channel that I was actively working towards building. I have a failed channel that I tried producing 11 years ago. And that channel only failed because I put one video up and I never put another video up again after that. The name of that channel, and you can find it on here, it's called Makeup Trickster TV. And I had just done like lipstick tricks that you could do with a tube of lipstick. I was in my makeup career at that point, and I was like, how can I create a channel around my talent? I thought that would be the easiest route to go. And I didn't realize back then how hard it was to work with the current available production equipment. Now it's so easy to just jump on Amazon or go to your local electronics or video production store and pick up any gear, right? You can use your phone. Back then, I think I had a sidekick. There was no way that I could film something on my phone that was good enough to publish on YouTube. And then when I did get the camera to publish the one and only video, I used a camera that didn't have a flip screen, so I couldn't see myself. I was out of focus more often than not when I was using that camera. And it was such a headache. It was so hard to film that very first video that I got discouraged, and I didn't put anything up on YouTube until December of 2023. So here I am over a decade later, almost 2 decades later from the very first video that I posted on YouTube. And like I was saying in my last video, it's still hard, even though right now in this era, it is infinitely easier to produce a YouTube channel now than it was back then, right? Like back then, on that first video that I was ever part of, they were filming me on like a camcorder, a big camera. I had no idea how they were even going to get like what they had filmed onto YouTube. I didn't understand that process. It didn't even cross my mind that I wanted a YouTube channel. I think it's what started building my appetite for finally creating a channel of my own, because after that experience was over, when I was no longer making videos for the FilAm News Network, it was in the back of my mind for a while as I was doing makeup and as I was starting to watch people on YouTube like Candy Johnson, who was a huge influence on me becoming a makeup artist. I think I started watching her probably in 2008. She was the first YouTuber who actually gave me inspiration to start my own channel. And it took me some years to get the guts to actually put myself out there and try. So now that we're in this age of accessibility to equipment, to tutorials and people teaching and guidance and mentorship and all of that here on YouTube, there is no excuse. There's no excuse for me to continue wishing and hoping that maybe one day I'll do this. I know that I still have a lot of weaknesses. I know that the emotional roller coaster of putting myself out there online is going to continue to be hard for me. I know that staying consistent and staying on topic is also going to be hard for me. I have ADHD. Maybe you do too, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. These are the things that are part of my own personal growth journey as I am showing up here on YouTube consistently, trying to deliver the best value to you that I can. And so I'm saying all this to say that YouTube changed my life because I would have never have guessed that this is where I would be 17 years later after that production has shut down, gone, and everyone's forgotten about it. I did not know back then that I was going to be in my 40s trying to start this journey on my own, create production on my own, script my videos, set up my equipment, edit everything, post it, and then sit back and answer y'all's questions and just hope that the comments are kind. I'm not expecting for this to be an overnight success because I know that there is no way that it's going to be. And I have made the commitment to myself, to my inner child, the one that 11 years ago was hoping that she had the energy and the stamina and the will and the tough skin for. But I don't know that that version of me actually was strong enough to continue on when this journey sometimes just feels like it's dragging you down. So I'm looking back at that version of myself, that version of like 22-year-old Jen, 21-year-old Jen. And I am hoping that I'm making her proud because to have all of you who decided to subscribe, it means so much to me that I don't even know how to express it in words. It might sound lame to some people because under 300 subscribers doesn't sound like a lot, but to me, it is 100 sets of eyeballs who are taking the time to watch my videos, who are getting value from what I have to say. And I hope that what's happening here is that you are inspired to continue on your journey to build your personal brand, to get on YouTube or any other platform that inspires you, that drives you, that you actually want to be a part of. So I'm hoping through these just couple of lessons that I am teaching myself that the consistency and the care for what it is that I put on the internet to help people grow is exactly what you're looking for. So YouTube has changed my life in that it's given me the platform that I've been trying so hard to build. And when I say trying so hard, mostly I'm talking emotionally. So through all of the emotional ups and downs, 17 years later, it feels worth it to me to go through everything that I know I'm going to have to go through on this journey to building this channel, to monetizing, and to sharing my life experience and anything that I have to offer of value to you. I've learned so much from YouTube creators over the years that it feels so good to kind of be giving back, to taking all of that knowledge that I have accumulated and put it towards something. So if you've started on your journey, if you haven't been on YouTube for 17 years, I just wish you all of the best. If you also have a small channel and you want some community, then please comment down below and ask me any questions. Even though I haven't been active on YouTube for the last 17 years, I've built my careers, because I've had several, I've built my careers off creating content. I was a makeup artist for production, photo shoots, video shoots for a long time, 12 years. Then I worked as a coach, and most of my content was online, but it was on Facebook. And now I'm a community lead for entrepreneurs who are using social media and content creation to grow their businesses online. And I feel really honored to have the job that I have, and I've always enjoyed creating content. I'm Jen Navarro. I'm a brand strategist, community, and content consultant. And if you want to follow along with me in your personal brand growth here on YouTube, please subscribe. Please give me a like or a dislike if you didn't like this. And I try to answer as many questions in the comments as I can. So I look forward to seeing you on the next one.